Now you try or you offer a really good incentive for those people to try your lash services, because you might be good at one thing, but if you've never offered them this service, they cannot be 100% sure that you know what you're doing, right? Mm-hmm. So there's nothing wrong to because again, it's a pay-to-play game. Like business is a pay-to-play game. You either pay with time or you pay with money. Mm-hmm.
Brando, hey, let me tell you the truth. It's not about who you know, but who knows you. Brando, it's your story. You can rewrite it if you so choose. It's your life. You decide those moves. Brando, you want to talk about getting the bag? He built a 7-figure brand from scratch. Brando, it's the Brand Up Podcast, but you already know. Enough talking, bro. Let's start the show. Brando.
And if you don't pay to play, it means it's probably a hobby yet. Meaning, if you don't spend time to get business, it means you don't get business. So that means you don't, maybe you don't take it seriously. And there's nothing wrong with that. It can be a hobby, but we're trying to make money in this, right? Because you're spending time, you're spending resources, you spend money to, to go to your trainings and whatever.
Yeah.
So going back to that, that's why I feel like I take a while to go straight to the point in these, but I want to explain the different scenarios, because it's, I don't want everybody to just take one as a blank statement. But once you sold a couple times and you feel comfortable with your skill set, it comes to a point where you have to decide, am I valuing my time the proper way? Because if you can make $200 with a set of lashes versus $50 to $100 doing something else in the same time frame, you have to decide.
Correct.
Am I keep doing the same thing and charge half, or I switch on and I try to get more lash clients? And then let's say you really went through all your resources, regardless if it's cash, other potential clients. Those potential clients have friends and family members. You ask them and you give them an incentive to recommend somebody else to get lash services, right? Now, let's say you did all that. Now it's time to get your feet wet with some ads. In my opinion, the simplest way is Instagram, but for specific lash extensions, I do feel Google ads will give you a faster result. And before, I used to say I wouldn't recommend directly to start with Google, because it was really hard and difficult to get to understand the platform. But now with a lot more AI and a lot more automation and stuff, Google made it easy to start the campaign directly from Google Maps. Mm-hmm. You pretty much don't even log into the big old Google Ads platform, because that's scary when you first log in. Like, it has so many different, and it changes every day, the layout and all that. But doing it from Google Maps, it is going to ask you, but again, you had a good point. You said, well, what if I start the campaign and I don't have my profile optimized? You shouldn't start a campaign if your profile is not optimized.
Exactly. So
first,
before you start with any ads, and I know that from, myself, you have to have everything set up.
And then when I say set up, now it takes less than half an hour, because you have ChatGPT.
Exactly. Before,
when we were doing, it was all done by me, pretty much.
Yeah.
You did the first draft, but I had to polish it and make it sound good and make it SEO optimized. Now you tell ChatGPT, you literally go to the biggest competitor, you copy all their descriptions, and then you go to ChatGPT and say, my name is, and my brand is, and write me a search engine optimized description for my Google Maps listing to include these keywords, and make it or write it in a really friendly tone, if that's your tone, right? Yeah. If your services are really luxury, you tell my services are luxury, and he caters towards a luxury clientele, and you will literally make it sound like that.
Amazing.
So there's no excuse.
Right.
You optimize the Instagram account and the Google Maps account, and that's it.
Because Instagram also
is 9 posts.
goes to Facebook, no? Everything that is
and then the Facebook page itself is just for, because if you want to run IG ads, you need to have a Facebook page to get them going. To do it properly, you can boost it from within the app, but it's not the best way to do it. But if somebody would ask me if I could pick one or the other, I would pick Google. Before you run a Google ad campaign, you need to make sure you have at least 3 to 4 before and after photos, maybe 1 or 2 photos with yourself working on a mannequin or on a client. If you have a 15-20 second video testimonial, great. If not, you need at least 2 to 3 5-star reviews. And everybody has 2-3 friends or 2-3 family members that you can offer your lash services for free. And then in exchange of a 5-star review, like, let's be honest, you're not faking it in a way that you create yourself 3 Gmail accounts and write 5 fake reviews. Because Google is gonna recognize the IP, and those reviews are not gonna stick. Like, we all know that we can have 6, 7, 10 Gmail accounts, but Google is gonna recognize the IP, and in reality, a client won't live in the same house with you. Right? That's why it happens when, I wrote a review and it didn't stick. Well, guess what? You wrote it from the same house. At least go to the gym and write it from the gym. Anyway, that's a whole different story. But so you have 2-3 reviews. You don't have to make it crazy, but you have to have the schedule. Google asks you what's the address, what services you offer, what category, and then they ask you a couple of questions if you offer parking and bathrooms and all kinds of stuff. Just write no if you don't. It's not going to affect at all the account. And then you start a campaign. And then when you start a campaign, Google is going to ask you, what are you selling, or what's the main service? If you have a website already, paste the page URL of the specific service. So now it's the best way for me to explain why I hate when somebody says I want to offer 10 different services. Because when you run a Google ad campaign like this, you're not able to put 10 services in one campaign, because you can never know which campaign and what keyword, because then you have a combination of this keyword performed the best in this city related to this service. How the fuck you combining 10 services with 10 different keywords and 10, right? So Google is asking you what service you're promoting. If you don't have a website, that's fine. You're not required to have one. But when it asks you what service you're selling, it automatically creates a team. Team, not as a T-E-A-M, like a team of people. It's a team, T-H-E-M-E, almost like an aesthetic team of the account. So if you say lash extension services, it's going to ask you, is classic extension services or or classic lashes or classic sets a valid keyword? You can say yes or no. You can select it or don't if you don't want to offer classic, for example, right? And even in there, you should have a campaign, but again, this is more advanced. You should have a campaign for volume, and you should have a separate campaign for classic. Because one will outperform the other, or one will pull the campaign down, and you won't know why. Because this is an automated way of doing, because again, you can start this campaign with $5 a day. Now, do I recommend 5? No, I would say at least a minimum of $10. Because imagine, these are high intent purchasing people that are typing in eyelash salon near me, lash tech in Boston, eyelash services available now, lash, right? Like, if you're a person that is looking for that, it means you're looking for the service. So it's a really high intent purchasing. It's like it's a demanding type of task from that person. So that's why I say it's a lot more powerful than Instagram for this. For trainings, it might be different. It's a little more easier to attract, to reach a pretty big audience on Instagram. But now that I say that, in order to test, it's the same. Like, it's still lash trainings near me. It's still a lot more valuable than targeting someone on IG that is just, because you're not able to target keywords on Instagram, right? You can only target, like, you go with the age group, male or female, the area, and then interest. So it's still, in my opinion, Google is still better than the other. And then before, I used to say, well, start with Instagram because it's easier to understand the concept of launching a paid campaign. But nowadays, no. I would say everybody should start with Google and then use IG to kind of
Connect.
fulfill, both audiences.
You also need to have, and I think we have another podcast about this,
With the 9 posts?
With the 9 posts on Instagram, because you can start a Google campaign or you can start something on Google and you only have 1 post on Instagram.
If you start a campaign on Google, you can still have just 1 post on Instagram because they're not connected necessarily. Now, Google now they do ask you when you create the account, the Google Maps listing account. They ask you, do you have a TikTok? Do you have a Pinterest account? Do you have YouTube? Especially YouTube. Even if you don't post necessarily, you should connect Google and YouTube together under the same Gmail, because Google is looking at all of these links, and if all of them link back to your Google account, it's just Google seeing, oh, this is a legit business. It's not just a person that decided overnight, I'm going to do lashes, and now she's doing a Google map listing. So yeah, like, it doesn't take too long to optimize the account. Instagram, on the other side, you need 9 posts just for the fact that you don't want people to have to scroll. You have to, like, hit them right there when they go on your account if they decide to do so. But someone that starts the search on Google, they wouldn't necessarily go on Instagram unless they talk to you. Like, you have this technique, especially with students, that they find you on Google
and they go directly to.
No, but even if they talk to you over the phone and say, well, we can schedule an actual call to talk a little later, but until then, follow me on Instagram so you can see
a lot more.
Yeah, so that's a really great way to connect.
And everybody does that.
To connect these two. So yeah, simplest way to look at it. You already sold at least 2-3 sets. You feel comfortable and confident with your ability to do the sets. Then you optimize both accounts, Google listing, Google Maps listing, and Instagram, and the Facebook page for that matter. And by the way, one thing that I haven't mentioned, on Google you can actually post a regular post the same way that you post on Instagram.
Brand up.